I would still get to know the person.
Absolutely.
But I agree, a 10, 20-minute conversation and some Facebook stalking, and you pretty much know everything you need to know. Bed. Love.
Bed. Love.
Beyond. Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Bed Love Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater in us to discuss sex, love, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love.
Like us.
I'm Martini.
I am Jennifer.
And today's episode is episode 87. Don't judge a profile by its selfie? Would you shun a suitor based on what they post on social media? If you have a topic you want us to explore or any topics or questions you want to ask, you can write to us at bedlovebeyond@gmail.com or text and leave a message at 201-862-8-BED. That is 201-862-8233. And shout out to Kathy Anderley because she's the one who gave me this topic a while back. So we finally got the chance to use it. So I don't know what prompted her to suggest this, but it was an awesome suggestion. So thank you. So we're gonna get into this, but first we're gonna get into, of course, Daily Dish. So has anything been going on, Jen, or everything is smooth sailing?
Everything is smooth sailing, I guess. As smooth as it's gonna be. I mean, I'm still with boyfriend. Boyfriend still has not moved in. We've talked about it.
Okay.
But I mean,
but not at ad nauseum, I hope.
No, not ad nauseum, but like it's like sometimes I think we have a plan and then I don't know that we do, and it gets like weird. It's kind of like I don't know. Cause I'm very much like the type of person, like if I want something, I get it. Like this fly that's flying around here, he's going to be dead in a second. But, like I wanted a kitchen table and it took me a couple of days, but I finally found the kitchen table that I want and I figured out a way to get it and I found out how to get it at the cheapest way possible and I made it happen. That's just kind of how I am. I know it's like not the same thing, but like that's pretty much just how I am. Like I was like, oh, I want to go to grad school. And one day I got up and I registered and I went. And I made it happen. And I don't know. It's just kind of what I do. So this is like something that I obviously can't control right now. And I'm having a hard time dealing with that because I'm the alpha female and I'm always very much in control of everything.
And, I'm sorry. I didn't want to cut you off.
The fly, right? It's bothering you.
Yes. Because you made me aware of it.
I know. I kept the door open too long. And it was weird. Like I kind of ended up having this conversation with my ex-boyfriend about, I don't know, because he said something like, I kind of made a joke with him about Tinder, about him being on Tinder. And he was like, oh, you were on Bumble at one point. And I was just like, yeah, whatever. Not the same thing. And then he was like trying to explain to me how it is the same thing. I was just like, whatever. So when he's like, oh, how are things with you and the boyfriend or whatever? And it was like actually a decent conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't like judgy or, whatever. And like I kind of just told him like my stance on things and I was like, he's perfect, he's awesome, like I love him and he's a great guy and like it's just this one thing that's kind of like lingering over our heads. And he was like, what's the rush? And I was like, you would say that, but when people ask me that, like I feel like I shouldn't be rushing, but I don't really feel like I am. And I kind of don't like when people ask me that because it's like, we all have our own time clocks on things. So,
right.
I don't know.
But you also have to understand, which is what you are understanding. So I shouldn't have said it like you don't understand. But is that you are working in conjunction with somebody else now.
Right.
So instead of like, yeah, I'm getting that kitchen table, boom, who's going to say anything? But now you have somebody and God willing, he'll move in. You have to be like, babe, should we get a new kitchen table? As opposed to just getting it now.
I mean, I even asked him about the kitchen table, and he was just like, oh, that one's cool, whatever you want. It's your kitchen table.
Well, it is.
Yeah, I know. Until it's not. But that's the thing. Like, I'm fine with making decisions with another person. It's just I can't do that just yet because that other person isn't ready. I honestly feel like he's not ready.
Because he has to make the final decision,
Right.
of asking you.
So
that's the thing. That's why it kind of sucks that, yes, we all know that, like, you're, the cliched strong independent woman, but the thing that you cannot make yourself is a wife.
I said to him, I was like, I can propose to you, and he's like, stop. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna have to at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or go. And like we kind of joke around a lot, but like, like he's like, you're not going anywhere, and sometimes I'm like, you really think that I'm not? Like, and it bothers me to think about it, but like there's times where I'm like, if I have to go, I have to go.
Yeah, and I will never say what you need to do in the relationship, but that's not cool that he would kind of jokingly seriously say that.
Right.
Because that's not cool.
I mean, because I don't want to go. Like I've weathered it all out in my head, and like he's my person. Like I like him. I love him.
Yeah.
And I like him in that position, and I don't find anything wrong with him other than the fact that he's like dragging his feet right now, and like, with all the craziness that's like going on in our country right now in the world. Like I keep telling him, like, yo, tomorrow's not promised. Not to be like fucked up or morbid, but like it's not. So like you're gonna keep dragging your feet for what? What are you waiting for? The perfect moment is never going to happen.
Yeah.
Like.
But you shouldn't. You shouldn't. You should take every precaution to not crash and burn as well.
Right.
Like you shouldn't just like leap in. We're not telling you guys to like, hey, let's elope. So we can just get married. Like, no, you shouldn't hastily throw away your future like that as well. But I understand what you're saying. And it was so funny. I don't know why I was thinking about this. But I know I figured out your type.
What?
Because I remember a long time. Oh, that's why. Because I guess I was thinking I was redoing the episodes on YouTube, which they're on right now.
Check them out on YouTube.
And I remember you saying a long time ago that you didn't really have a type, and I agreed with you. And you're like, yeah, like my guys are like, all which ways and blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah. I mean, obviously the one lowest, the one common denominator is them being black. But then I was looking back at them. Well, they are.
They're ethnic.
Black. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, no, there is another common denominator with them. You like stocky guys.
I don't necessarily.
They're all stocky.
They all are not.
This one right now, stocky. Last one, stocky. First Love, stocky.
That was the Brooklyn. Exactly. There. Final answer.
No. What's his name? Waterboy, stocky.
What Waterboy?
The one who, well, I won't say. Waterboy.
Oh, him?
Stocky.
Oh. He wasn't really stocky. He got chubby sometimes.
Super Ghost, stocky. Yeah, thanks. And what solidified it was I remember when we went to New York to tape real whatever. The Side Chicks. And and we were just chilling in the car, and then like you saw this dude, and you're like, damn, he's fine, whatever. And I'm like, and me thinking about the guys that you would always say look good. So I'm looking like for an Idris Elba type person or Michael Ealy type person, and I see some stocky bod dad dude, and I'm like, the fuck, him? And you're like, yeah, and I was like, odd.
Maybe he looks like he has a good personality.
No, I'm not. You're confusing stuff. I'm not saying that these people are ugly because they're stocky. I'm just saying I see a common thing. I see a common thread, and I was just like, oh snap!
I really think that's
she likes stock dudes.
I really think it's more coincidental than anything, but whatever.
Right. Four out of the 7 dudes that I know are coincidental.
Right.
But okay.
I don't know. Anywho, they have something. Anywho, yes, I don't know. I don't really know what's happening. But I've found lately that I feel like a lot of people are lying to me. And I'm catching them in lies. Not my boyfriend. I'm catching them in lies. And like I used to be like the type of person to be like, bam, you're a liar. Like, but I can't do that anymore.
Why not?
Now, I don't know. Because I'm just like, you're a shitty person. And I just let them keep talking.
Yeah, that's always fun.
I mean, what else can you do? Wouldn't you even call them on their bullshit all the time?
You can.
Why? For what?
No, so you
It's
can
their karma, not mine.
so you can either get them out of your life, or you know exactly the type of person that they are.
Yeah, I've just accepted it.
Right.
I'm just like, ha, you're lying. Go ahead, keep telling me. Really? That's crazy. Oh my god. So I don't know. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine was like going through a similar situation with she needed to get a restraining order on somebody. She didn't do it. She dropped it.
Oh,
she dropped the restraining order.
But she went to court.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
wow.
she dropped it. What are you gonna do? People are sometimes before I started dating my ex-boyfriend, he told me I had Stockholm syndrome over Waterboy, and I'm like, I didn't get it, but now I get it. It's like Stockholm syndrome is like when you. I know I didn't at the time.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that deep.
So can you explain
what Stockholm syndrome is? It's just like Stockholm syndrome is like when you feel like you owe something to your captor.
Oh, okay.
Like you feel like indebted to him for some reason, even though you know like he's a terrible person. So like when you're in a shitty abusive relationship, whether it's verbally abusive or physically abusive, like you feel like even though they were horrible and a piece of shit to you, you still can't betray them or leave them because you owe something to them. And
he's talking about Waterboy as opposed to Brooklyn?
He didn't really know about Brooklyn because I was because this is the thing. When I was friends with my ex when I was dating Waterboy.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't really leave the relationship. Not because I couldn't, because I didn't want to. Like, I was kind of like just naive and like waiting for him to be better. And I was like, oh, he's just going through this because his dad died.
Right.
You know, he's not really this person.
Yeah.
And he may not be. He might have really just been going through all that shitty stuff because his dad died. And maybe my personality and his personality just don't mix up. Or maybe he's just a compulsive cheater and liar. Who knows? Not my problem anymore. But I just like felt a certain way about leaving him, and like my ex was kind of like, "Come to me, I'm like the better, option or whatever."
Right, singing
but, like,
Shawn Mendes
also,
and shit.
Right. But also like telling me like, as a friend, like, dude, you deserve better. And like, as much as like I knew it was a better idea, I just like didn't want to, I guess, at the time.
Okay.
So he gave me this whole speech like about how I had Stockholm syndrome and. You know, he saw his family go through this and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, all right, well, thanks for that. But eventually I realized, like, it was like one night, like, things got really bad between me and Waterboy. And, like, I was like, all right, I can't do this anymore. We were barely together. We weren't really together. And then, like, me and my ex had talked about dating. And so I just called up my ex. I didn't call him up. We were texting. And, this is kind of sad. So, like, I said to him something to the effect of, like, on a late night serious tip, if you want to do this, I think we should do this. Like, date. And we did. And then I, like, officially got rid of Waterboy. After the fact, kind of.
Yeah.
I was just like, yep. And I just, like, stopped answering his calls. And, like, him and I were dating for, like, a couple weeks. And I stopped answering his calls and stuff. And we had gone somewhere. And we had gone somewhere to like a mutual party.
Yeah.
And Waterboy's friends were there. And then like we had gone back to my house after. And then like that night Waterboy came like banging out my windows. Like I had like a porch that was like in front of my bedroom kind of.
Yeah.
He came banging out my windows. And like I was legitimately like shook. I was like shaking. And like my ex, now my boyfriend at the time, he was just kind of like, yo, like, he really fucked you up. Like, you're a mess. And I was just like, yeah. But I was just like, I didn't know what he was going to do.
Right.
Like, I didn't. And he said he was like, I wasn't going to do anything. I was just, like, trying to see where you were at because you were avoiding me. And I was like, okay. And then I think a few weeks after that, like, I saw him at, like, their mutual football game because they played recreational football together. Not together, but on the same league.
Yeah.
And he just walked by me like he didn't know me. And I was like, cool, this is it. We're done. The end. But, I mean, everyone has to do it a separate way, but you have to do it.
Yeah. Also, I recently listened back to episode 83, and I wanted to correct you on something because you were talking about how, like, you felt kind of bad for saying this, but you said that, like, if you said that you love to work things out and that you can, and that you said if you really thought that you could work things out. With your ex, you'd probably still be together. And I was just like, oh, okay. And I was like, wait, no, because there was one thing that was a deal breaker, and it's because you wanted to have children and he wouldn't, and you can't fix that.
Yeah, I mean, every time I ask him about that, like his like stance on it is like, oh, I didn't say I didn't want children. I just didn't want children then. Like he still won't give me a direct answer, because like,
Which tells you everything.
Right, which is like, okay, whatever.
Because you can't. Let's say you guys had a kid, you can't take that back.
Right, but you have to remember, I'm also now like 4 or 5 years older than I was when I dated him.
Okay.
So I'm at a different place and he's at a different place. And I'm not saying that it would work. I don't think that it necessarily would. Because sometimes I see like pieces of him that leak through and I'm like, this is why we don't work. Like, we're really good friends and we were really good friends before, but this is just why we don't work.
Mm-hmm.
But most of what you're saying is like me working out if we could work it out. Like, I just really think that there came a time where like we both just got fed up and we stopped trying.
Right.
And it became like a contest of who could be better than the other person.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's not good in any relationship.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I was more clear-headed and like I saw hope or something, I would have put in more effort. Like with my current relationship, like he constantly reassures me that like, I'm the one, you're the one I want, and like I want a future with you. Like I just have to do X, Y, and Z to get there, and the X, Y, and Z is like kind of frustrating for me. But because I see hope in it, like I don't totally like lose my shit, because if not, I can see myself and feel myself getting like I did in my last relationship. Like I just give zero fucks. I'm just not gonna come around. I'm just not gonna call you, and not just not call you, but like I'm just not gonna put in the effort that I was putting in before.
Right.
I'm not coming over to make you dinner anymore. I'm not going to come and just show up and like watch TV with you. For what? Because there's no outcome to this. And some days I feel like it might go to that, but I have to kind of like remind myself that like this is a really good dude, and he's got his own shit that he's dealing with, and if I could try to help him through his shit, then maybe it'll all work out for both of us. And he keeps telling me like, oh, it'll all be worth it. And I believe him, and I just kind of hope.
I believe him too.
I just kind of hope that it is. So I'm just trying to be patient, which is something that I don't have a lot of.
Right.
Because that's pretty much what happened in my last relationship. We were two like really good people, and we were probably really good for each other to a degree, minus like a lot of major hiccups that probably wouldn't have been able to be fixed. But it got to the point where like we probably could have worked through some of it, but we just said, fuck this, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
And one day I said I'm done, and he was like, I'm done, and neither one of us just said, just kidding, or like, let's, but like no one turned around like within that like 10-minute period and said, let's work on it. We both just said we're done, and we're just like, fuck, we really are, like, and we both sat there like really sad, like that it was over, but neither one of us had the energy to like put anything into it anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I just don't want this to get to that.
Mm-hmm.
It would suck. If it does, then I'm just gonna like adopt a kid and sit here by myself. Fuck that noise.
Oh boy. Okay.
So.
Oh man.
It's crazy because like you go online and you see like all these people that you dated, or like hit you up at one point. Like some of them are like still lingering on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah.
Now they all have like kids and they're all getting married, and you're like, damn, maybe I should have hollered. But I had no interest in them then. I have no interest in them now.
Right.
But it's just like, as a female, you like sit there and you like see everyone kind of like. I wrote the blog for our website.
Please, yeah, check that out. What was the title of it again?
Fall In or Fall Out.
Yeah.
And like, 'cause that's kind of like what I was going through, going online and seeing like everyone moving forward. Like that day, it was like so and so got engaged. And you're like, what? They got engaged?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, so and so had a baby. And I'm like, that guy had a baby? He couldn't even keep a girlfriend. What the fuck? Like, and I was just like, yeah, I was just really feeling a certain way about it. And I was just like, why not me? Like, and I hate to be like that because that's not who I am.
And
Like,
it's not how you're supposed to think, but it's totally natural.
I've never been like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, oh, 39's coming in a couple of months. Fuck my life. And now my mom's even like, well, what's going on? Like, you guys have been together for a while. And I'm just like, yeah. She's like, is he moving in? Are you getting married? I'm like, dude, your guess is as good as mine. She's like, disappointing. I was like, how do you think I feel?
your mom's awesome, but like she's looking at it from the outside. Obviously, it's because she has nothing else to do.
She has a lot to do, but she's just like,
no, but for her kids to look at her kids and
Right,
be like,
right.
all right, what's going on? What's going on? How come you don't have a kid? How come you don't have a kid? How come you don't have a kid? It's just like, yo,
my mom's not Oprah.
I don't know, but it's like, we got stuff to do. It's closing in on 2 years, but it's 2 years, like easy, like I don't know. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's really it. I mean, that's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm just trying to sell my kitchen table so I can make room for the new one that's coming Monday.
Right.
That's how
Cool.
I do things.
That's how I do things.
Take that whatever way you want. But what's new with you? Since I don't really talk to you.
Well,
Martini and I really don't talk unless we're on this podcast. Very rarely. Snooty. He's snooty with me sometimes.
Because you're snooty back. I try to help her out sometimes, and then she's like, when shall I be regaled with this wisdom that you're trying to tell me, Martini? And Jim's like, yo, all right, this will be the last time that I'll be helping you with anything.
I thought it was going to be like life-changing.
All right, well.
I thought I was going to like freaking hear angels and whistles and shit.
It's not about that. It's like what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is I forget which episode number it is. Oh no, I think episode 85 or 86, the one where why women are failing at dating, that one, and it had some things to do with Jennifer and her beau. And I was like, yo, and I told her, I was like, yo, I want you to listen to this because I heard some things that are literally about you and your boyfriend. And I know you're having some troubles and some worries. So listen to it. And she's like, all right, cool. Thanks, whatever. I'm like, all right, cool. Because I'm trying to help her out because I always hear about her woes me things about her relationships. And I'm like, yo, okay, let me like help her out because I want to help. And then she comes at me and she's like, when will I be moved? And I'm like, yo, just freaking don't be snooty, man. This is like real shit. I'm just trying to help you out. But then she eventually got to the part where I was talking about, and then she got it. And she's like, okay, I get it. So I'm going to have to holler. So are you going to holler at her, or are you just blowing smoke up my ass?
I should, right? Yeah.
Yes, I think you should.
I will. I actually, fun fact, I actually go to therapy. Not because I am psychotic or anything. That's not necessarily why people go. I think everyone should go. But because I need someone other than my friends and family and boyfriend and podcast partner to vent to. Someone who doesn't know me, who's not judging me, who's not like, yeah, Jen, but remember you did this with that guy. Like, shut the fuck up, bitch. I don't need to hear that. I know what I did. I was 16. Like, that's how you were with this guy. Like, okay, I was 16 years old. Calm the fuck down.
Mm-hmm.
So, she asked me, she's like, everything seems to be going A-okay in your life, per se. She's like, why don't you have your boyfriend come in and talk with us? Maybe we can try to get to the bottom of what you're feeling as far as, like, him moving in. Because sometimes I just feel like I don't get a direct answer, and sometimes maybe he gives me an answer, but, like, I hear it, but I don't feel it, and I need to feel it. Like, I need to know that things are going to all work out for the best.
Mm-hmm.
So she asked if he would come. I asked him if he would come. He said yes.
And really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yo.
He was like, can't we just watch an episode of This Is Us? I was like, no.
Like, why? So you guys can like cry every episode?
Oh, yeah, I do cry every episode.
Everybody does.
So I was like, no. So he's gonna come, and that's it. He's gonna come.
That's awesome. I really was expecting a no, like a hard no.
No. He's like, yeah, I'll go.
That's freaking awesome.
So
I'm so proud of him. Yo, if you're listening, because I know you are.
I don't think he is, but whatever.
That's awesome, man. Way to go, dude. Way to freaking go.
So he's gonna come, but so after that, because I think it's just gonna be a one-time thing, I'll call that lady.
Right. Oh yeah. So
that's next week.
Good.
So.
No, but that's good because you'll know where you guys stand when you guys are there, and then whatever.
Right, he might reveal some shit, and I'll probably be like, "Oh, this is over."
Dude, damn, what's going on?
I don't know, because sometimes like he won't tell me no, but maybe he would tell some. Like he'd have to be honest to her,
Wait, so oh no, it would have to be. It's the both of you in the same room, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not like she's gonna.
No, not see him by himself.
Right. And even if it was, she can't tell you what he said because that's
Right.
whatever. What is it?
Patient
Client confidentiality.
Doctor patient, yeah.
Yeah, doctor patient. Sorry, what did I say? Patient client, whatever. Yeah. So to go back to what you were saying with stumbling around Instagram, because I send you things to put on the gram for us.
You've had less women on your page.
I'm sorry?
You've had less women on your page.
What do you mean?
I usually post like big booty bitches on your page.
I do not, and I haven't ever since I got a new account.
Oh, good job. Have you noticed any difference in your income of friends or of ladies?
Where are you getting this? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, like, maybe that some ladies were kind of like, because I think that's where Kathy came with the thing for you, kind of said to you something to the effect of that since you post those chicks on your page,
yeah,
that some women might feel like, you...
That they're not the one for me, or...
Either that they're not the one for you, or that, that you're, like, into, like...
Oh, that?
That, and, like, that...
Scantily clad women and all that stuff?
Right.
I mean,
I know my boyfriend likes big asses, and I'm not in that category. So...
Yeah, but he still loves you.
And he's like, I didn't date you for your ass. I was like, clearly, I don't have one.
No, but to answer your and Kathy's thing, it didn't matter before I put pictures that women weren't coming after me, so it doesn't matter what I do.
Okay. Well.
So I could have put on women. I haven't put on women since April, and I still haven't gotten anything. So there goes that point.
Well, it's not like you're fucking using Instagram as a dating app either.
No, but I'm just saying. You were saying, did my ladies increase? They did not. They're still exactly at 0.
Statistics show that. Okay, so but next time when you meet a girl and you'll be like, hey, you can peep me on Instagram. She's not gonna feel like, oh, I don't meet that criteria.
Yeah, but she might judge me on what I do put on there, which is the topic of this episode. Great segue, but we're not there yet. So,
all right.
So I was perusing Instagram. Religious girl got engaged.
See what I'm fucking talking about?
Yeah. So, was it? Because I calculated it on a date calculator. It was a year and 2 months and a year, 2 months and 8 days after she met me, she got engaged. So, which just proves my good luck Chuck syndrome. So that's 3 down, 2 to go. So I was just like, wow, that's freaking amazing. I laughed, got sad, then I laughed again because I was like, yeah. The good luck Chuck, like, I'm right. Like, I don't know why people don't think I'm not telling the truth when I say this stuff, that people meet.
Maybe we should date again real quick.
Stupid ass.
Sorry.
That people meet their person right after dealing with me because for some reason I show them what love is.
No, I dated you, and look what happened.
That was before.
I dated Psycho after that.
But yeah, I was just like, man, that's crazy.
Well, good for her.
Okay, sure. But that the statements of Jennifer do not reflect Bella Beyond or Martini Jean. So
yeah, Martini's like, fuck that bitch.
Yeah, so that was that. So didn't have I don't know. I was just like, okay, that's interesting. But anyway, let's get to the good stuff that Jennifer wants to hear about.
Nothing else is going on in your life?
Oh no.
Other than
what?
Religious girl getting engaged?
No, I was gonna say. Now we're gonna get to the good stuff.
Oh, do tell.
That Jennifer wants to get into, and which is my results for my speed dating.
Oh my god, I totally fucking forgot. I had a lot going on this month. Go ahead.
That's fine.
And?
And what?
Was it fun?
It was very interesting. I really liked the experimental part of it. I liked the reason why I went. It's
Which
because
was because I made you.
no, what? No, it's speed dating in general. Because
Okay.
like I said, I always wanted to go to speed dating, and it was just interesting how the whole thing worked out. So hold on, while I'll explain my story, I
You
have
need a Venn diagram?
no, not a Venn diagram, but props.
Oh.
So
Because life is short on speeddating.com. How speed dating works. Use this pamphlet to take notes about the people you meet at the event. Your notes will help you keep track of whom you like and who you'd like to contact after. Not everyone includes a picture with their profile, so it's important to take a decent notes to remember who is who. How a typical event goes down. Start the event seated at the table with your first date, quote unquote, of the night. Once the official bell rings, you have approximately 3 minutes to get to know each other. After 3 minutes, a bell will sound, and that is the end of the date. At this time, one group of daters will remain seated, men or women, and the other group, men or women, will rotate to the next table. When you're someone's number, please note after the event. Sorry, I'm really like speed reading.
yeah, I don't know why.
If you were someone's +1 at the event or paid
you can skip
at
that.
the okay. All right. When you get home, log on to speeddating.com after 11 p.m. to check your matches. Click my account. Oh, you don't even get to meet them there?
No, you meet them there.
Okay, but I'm saying you don't even.
You're not supposed to because you're slowing everything down.
Okay, when you get home, log on to speeddating.com after 11 p.m. to check out your matches. Click my account and then my matches to view attendees from the event. The screen will display everyone who attended the event. You will not see yourself listed as you will not be selecting yourself as a match. I would. I'd be like, I love that girl. As other daters other daters will have visibility to you if you do not see a dater listed. They may have paid at the door and not yet created a profile. Continue to check back. You will have visibility of all daters that have selected interest in you. Check off people that you're interested in so they'll be notified of your interest as well. Once you select someone, click save. You cannot unselect them, so match and choose wisely.
So I wrote my notes. Don't say anything.
Okay.
You can read them to yourself. So I wrote my notes. So I go in and I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go in. I see the people.
These notes.
I knew Jen would have a kick. You can read them after.
Okay.
But so I get there and I'm looking at all the people. So I'm like, okay, all right, this is interesting. And I see the guys and I'm like, okay, they fit the profile of what a geek would look like. No offense, guys. I'm one of you. So, but I see this freaking guy. And freaking Jen, take a look at this guy because I was pissed off. This freaking guy was like looking like Taye Diggs and shit, and I was like, what is going on with this dude? Cause he had the freaking what is it? Black suit on, a white shirt with a white shirt with the top 2 buttons off. And with no buttons at the top.
Now.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, Jen would freaking love this guy. Freaking I was like, what the hell? Oh, the brown beaded bracelet, dark rim glasses. He was bald, but then he freaking saw me with my beanie, so he went to go to his jacket and get his. I was like, bro, what are you doing right now? Stop it. So I was like, great, now I have freaking competition. But anyway, so the girls start filing in, and I see the girls, and I'm like, whoa, some of these girls look a little too hot. They must be here just for the bar, not for the geek speed dating. But then they go up to the host, and sure enough, they are there for the speed dating. I was like, hold on. Because these girls look like they would make fun of geeks, but they were there. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, my stereotype has been broken, and I did learn like 2 or 3 things, and I'll go through them. So that was one with the speed dating thing. So I was like, okay, fine. So just as Jen explained, we all get there, and all the girls sit down in their seats, stationary.
And there's 20 guys and 20 girls?
There was 25 men and 20 girls.
Oh.
So with that, there were empty seats. So those empty seats became like rest stops. Yeah, breaks. Like 3-minute breaks. So I was like, okay, fine. So all the girls are there. So boom.
So did the guys rotate or the girls rotate?
No, guys rotate. Girls always stay. So which is fine, but also now it's like a position of power because now I need to impress you. And you're just like, please come. Next servant, please. You know, so So that was fine. So they seat all the girls sit down, and all the guys are up. They make everybody go. So I was like, all right, guys, have fun, whatever. Ding, 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 ding. Rings the bell. Boom. I get to my first seat. It's a break. So I'm like, oh man, because I'm nervous. I was nervous the whole day. And then 3 minutes pass by. Next seat, another break. I was like, what the fuck?
How did that happen?
Because there was no women. The women were too small.
Wow.
So next one, finally, seat number one, table number one. Which is you. What saying names?
She'll listen to the podcast.
So the first person comes in.
All right, I won't read the name.
Jesus.
Strike that from the record.
So I go see. I sit next to number one. In front of number one, and we're just vibing. She gets her food. She started eating. And she was like, is this your first time? And I was like, yeah, it's my first time doing the speed dating. How is this your first time? She was like, yeah. I was like, oh, that's cool. And the age range was from like 25 to 39.
Which is why number 4, he's like old.
because some of them looked a lot older than 39. So I don't know if they really actually stuck by that rule. Mm-hmm. Whatever. So we're vibing and, a little bit. And the thing is, you don't really know how to quote unquote attack the subject. So you're like, all right, I'm just gonna keep talking about whatever comes up to my mind, and it went okay. It was all right. But then number two was hilarious because she was like, she seemed already bored, and I was like, yeah. So is this your first speed dating? She's like, oh, no, this is like my 4th. I was like, oh, okay. And I don't know. It's like she just had nothing to do that Saturday night, and she just wanted to come out to speed dating because she wasn't really. I mean, we had a fine conversation.
Right, for 3 minutes.
Yeah, for 3 minutes. Number 3. Does number 3 start with a J?
Yes.
Okay, so that was the first one that I was like, oh, this is cool.
I don't know what the first word is that you wrote, but the other word says cute with an exclamation point.
Okay. So that's okay. So that is the one that. So this is when the game changed, because then she was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "I'm fine." And she was like, "Hey, so what makes you a geek?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "All right, cool." So I was like, "Okay, well, I'm into a lot of superhero stuff. I watch all the shows, the movies, and stuff like that." And she was like, "Oh," and I was like, in my head, I was like, "Oh." I was like, what was that for? And then she was like, oh, it's because I'm kind of geeky over literature and like Shakespeare and stuff like that. And I was like, this is interesting because, and I found this out throughout the entire night, that some women, most of them actually, misinterpreted the word geek.
Oh.
And there were more nerds. And now let me tell you about the nomenclature of those two things. So geek is more passionate about their hobbies and pop culture and things like that, whereas nerds are more scholastic and intelligent with their like scholastic stuff. Because one of them was like, yeah, I'm geeky over FDA approvals. And
she's the pharmaceutical.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah, and one was a geeky over economics and stuff like that, and I was just like,
Freakonomics?
Yeah.
Well, that's a show, isn't it?
No. I think you're confusing Freakazoid, which is a 90s show, and Freakonomics is a book that she was talking about, but it's there. I'm pretty sure I put.
Was she Indian?
She was.
I can tell by her name.
Oh, okay, I was like, were you there?
Not by her Freakonomics. I can tell by her name.
I was like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. But so I was just like, oh man, this is interesting. But it was good because it taught me how to swim instead of sink, because I was realizing if everybody here was the same geek as me or whatever,
right,
then it'd be a cakewalk,
right?
But now, since some of them were like kind of off with the geeky stuff or not quote unquote geeky at all,
okay,
I'm just like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to be creative and come up with shit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I was kind of glad that happened.
Okay.
And there were other things where like freaking pharmaceutical chick, she inadvertently dissed me because like she was talking about the book Freakonomics, and then she was talking about how like drug pushers like on the lowest spectrum, like the ones on the corner have like the lowest money from like the drug hierarchy, because once the money goes through all the hands, they get nothing. And then they think that they're the boss, but yet they're still living with their moms. And then she was like, "Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like grown men living with their moms, ha!" And I was like, "Yeah, grown men living with their moms, yeah." So, and I was like, "Damn, like okay, guess I'm not freaking clicking you at the end of the night, you know." And but most of them were pretty cool. I had pretty much good conversations with all of them.
Damn, you friend zoned this one bitch already.
What was it?
Super cool, but could be friends.
Oh yeah. That was yeah. She was cool, but yeah, I really didn't see anything romantic with her. But like, she was really cool though. Go ahead.
Followed by I tall.
Oh yeah. Because she attended a for tall people speed dating, and we were talking about that. Because she's 6. She's
followed by cool, kind of like ale.
Oh, she reminded me of a friend of mine.
Okay, Geek NYCC. So she's in New York Comic Con.
No, that was so crazy because when I was talking about her, she was talking about this show called Morse that I read on the top. She was like, yeah, because you know, when you're talking to all these people, you can't start the same way. You have to switch it up,
right?
Or like it becomes super repetitive. So I was like, okay, what shows do you watch? Because once I figured out that everybody has a different interpretation of geek, I needed to find questions that would help me see if they were how geeky they were, whatever.
Nerd.
Or yes, go ahead, Jen. So I was like, what shows do you watch? And she's like, oh, I watched this like 90s show. This 90s show that was from Britain TV, called Morse and whatever. She's like, yeah, you wouldn't know it, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, fine. And it was an alright conversation. We were okay for the 3 minutes. My time was over, and I went on a break. But then I overheard her talking to the person that was before me, and she was talking about, oh man, like I didn't know how to dress here. I was gonna cosplay at first, and I can't wait to go to like New York City, New York Comic Con, blah blah blah. And I was like, what the fuck? We could have had that conversation. Right. What the hell? So it's very interesting to see how conversations pick up, and that you might miss things at all.
Now the next one it says hola, or it says nothing. I don't know what it says.
What is it?
For number 10.
Number 10. Oh, no, it says old.
Oh, yeah, that's a D.
Yeah, sorry. Because you have to write it really quick, because you're trying to listen to the person.
Did you say this girl's balding?
Yes.
Oh.
But she was mad cool, though, because...
That's what you wrote, mad cool.
Because at the beginning, I saw her like looking around, and I was like, oh man, because you can't avoid the people. You're gonna have to go through all of them. And I was like, oh great, like I'm not gonna have a fun time when I get to her.
Right.
But when I get to her,
judgy much?
Yeah, but I'm not. But then when I got there, I was like, yo, this chick is mad cool, because we were just talking about stuff, and then she was talking about how one of her guilty pleasures was Chrisley Knows Best. And I was like, I never watched that show, but I kind of wanted to watch that show too, because I always see the commercial after wrestling. She's like, you like wrestling? I was like, yeah. She's like, do tell. And I was like, oh snap, yo, let's talk. And then we were talking about all the wrestlers and stuff, and we became like dumb cool. And then through the 3 minutes went up, and I was like, all right, peace. And then she was like, all right, bye. But I was like, oh wow, that was a pretty cool person. No, but that's what I'm talking about, the stereotype,
right? Blue eyes, Utah.
Yo, yeah, she had amazing blue eyes, and she was what was it? She just got she didn't just get to New York. She's been there for 4 years, and Utah her whole life, whatever. So, and she loves New York City. But yeah, she was very nice. Oh, and she complimented me on my dress. She was like, "Oh wow, look at you! Like you know how to dress." And I was like, oh, "Well, thank you." So yeah, she was pretty cool.
Hot and cute.
Was that 17?
Yeah.
Yeah. 17 was another stereotypical thing, because I saw her at the beginning and I was like, that's the one that I want. Number 17, I was like, damn, I got to go through 17 people to get to her. Right. But that's the one that I want. So I finally get to her, And then she's like, so how geeky are you? And I was like, all right. And I tell her, I was like, yeah, I love DC. I grew up with Batman, since I was 12, blah blah. She was like, yeah, see, I knew that was what geeky meant. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, the last guy was talking to me that he's a geek over mathematics. And I was like, you see, I was like, yeah, I went through that like a couple chicks ago. And then we both like gave each other a high five. And then she was like, oh, do you know this show called Jessica Jones? I was like, yeah, on Netflix. And she's like, yeah, they film that in front of my house, like at nighttime, because it takes place in New York City, so they have to do real locale. And I was like, really, they do? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, yo, yes. I was like, she's fucking hot. She's hot. She's cool. She knows what geek means. I was like, this is awesome. And I had a cool time with her. And
then the next chick, you had a break, and then you didn't say anything about the next chick.
I didn't, but she was cool though. She was cool. I didn't say anything.
And then the last chick you said that's super cool.
Yeah, she was super cool too. And I was kind of pissed because
you just threw something.
No. I was pissed because she's the one that I accidentally told about the podcast about.
Oh.
Because she likes podcasting, and I was like, oh, I'm on like I do a podcast, and I was like, oh fuck, like it just came out. She's like, oh, which one do you do? I was like, because she just got into podcasting. She's like, oh, I'm a podcast whore, I love podcasts. And then I was like, all right, Bed Love Beyond. No. First I was like, no, that's not fair. You can't know about my podcast. She was like, why not? I was like, because you'll know everything about me, and I won't know anything about you. That's unfair.
Right.
And then she was like, no, come on, like let me know. And I was like, all right,
you
fine.
should have bought stickers.
I was like,
shamelessly promoting while you're out.
She's like, I don't know. And I said, fine, and I told her about it. And then she was like, so how did you get into the podcast? And then like the bell rang, and then I was like, oh man, I gotta like truncate my story in like 15 seconds before like the next person comes in. So I tell her everything that I can in 15 seconds, and then I was like, and then I said, I gave us our story in like 15 seconds. She's like, wait, hold on. Like you're doing a relationship podcast with your ex? And I was like, listen to episode 5 and 6 and you'll be amazed. She was like, okay.
Oh my God.
So the person who's listening right now, I remember your name. So how you doing? Hope you like the podcast. And yeah, subscribe. So yeah.
All right.
So then, what else?
So then you go home, or we're not at that part yet.
No. We can get there, and then I'll tell about the lesson that I learned or whatever.
Okay.
So I go home, and then
face.
I go home, and then I do the profile thing, everything. I do everything. Boom. Okay. And then I don't know if you're supposed to wait or whatever. So I did everything. I see everybody, and then I wait until the next day. I see everybody there, and I'm like, okay. So I picked the one that knew about Shakespeare, the hot cute one, the Jessica Jones one, and then the last one.
Why didn't you pick the girl that was mad cool?
Which girl that was mad
cool?
The
one that you didn't want to talk to at first, the one that's balding.
Because she wasn't attractive.
Oh, God. Proceed.
What? Just because she's mad cool, that's it?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Don't give me that face.
Looks aren't everything.
Looks are not everything. But I wasn't attracted to her, so I'm not going to force it.
Okay.
But she was cool, though. And I like how you're waiting for that, too. You're waiting to ask me that.
Go ahead.
Like you were going to catch me or something. So, yeah. So I picked those 3. Oh, yeah, and the last one, yeah. So, and then that was it. Saved my matches, boom, that's it. And I waited 24 hours, and I went on, and I looked at my matches, none. I was like, okay, cool. And I checked today, nothing. I was like, all right, so that's it. I don't have any matches, so there you go. But I'm glad that I went.
Okay.
For the experience. But then, yeah. So yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of lessons to be learned there about the stereotype thing. About me not thinking another person's cool because of whatever, and also the girls who are like super hot that I didn't think would be geeks, that they would make fun of geeks like that. Well, one of them changed, but the other one was right on the money. Like you would definitely make fun of geeks.
Okay.
Also too, and also something that was interesting was that for men, men are visual. So like with the women that are seated, this is, I don't know, this might be I don't know if that's the reason why they did it or whatever, that speed dating is the way that it is. But since the women are seated, you only see from the waist up. So all you can concentrate on is who they are as opposed to what they look like. So you converse and then everything's all right. And then at the end of the night, that's, when they get up to leave, that's when you see everything. You see the whole package. And some of them you're like, oh, all right, cool. And some of them are like, oh, snap. That changes. That changes things. You know what I mean? So that was different. And also, too, that 3-minute thing, the 3-minute thing, I'll tell everybody, is is both a godsend and hell. Because when things are going good, 3 minutes feels like 1 minute and 30 seconds. When the conversation is bad, the 3 minutes feels like 10 minutes. So you're like, oh my God, I need to do something. And also, too, don't necessarily rely on the 3 minutes to be the whole thing that you get from the person. Because I remember I had a great 3-minute conversation with one of the girls. And then while we were all leaving for the end of the night, she stopped me and she was like, hey, do you want to grab a beer? And I was like, I don't drink, but I can chill with you at the bar. And it was like, all right, cool. So my initial thing was like, yeah, she's super cool. Maybe something could be it. But like as we were talking, she was still cool, but the romance thing went down. So
which girl was this?
I don't know if I put anything about her. I mean, I remember who she was. Oh yeah, the super cool but could be friends.
Oh,
so, yeah.
So, did you put the could be friends after?
No, before.
So you were right on about that.
Yeah. So that was really interesting.
And you didn't pick her.
No, I didn't pick her at the end, which is funny because she wasn't even on the list. I guess she never put up her profile. But yeah, so that was interesting.
Did you exchange numbers or anything?
Can't do that. You're not allowed.
Really?
Yeah.
Even after?
I mean, well, after, sure. After, if you want to freaking grab them and like, hey, let me get your number. You know what I mean? It's like she met like a single woman met 20 guys. So like, why are you gonna?
I'm saying like she didn't ask you for yours. I guess when you guys left.
Oh no. And the cool thing was that the facility, the event host said that this discrepancy doesn't happen often. It's usually off by 1 or 2, but not like 5. So they said that they will for the I think it was just for them. No, I think it was for everybody actually. It's for everybody that everybody will get a free pass to another speed dating thing. And also that night there were somebody was I think another event of theirs was happening at a penthouse. And if you told them like this phrase, you can get in for free.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah. So that was cool.
So are you going to go back?
That leads me to my next thing, was that when I was leaving and I got to the garage, I gave the people my card, and then they didn't have sufficient money to take the car out. And I was like, well, can you do half and half? And they're like, no, we don't do that. And I was just like, fuck. And I was like, damn it. So I started calling people.
Oh, sorry. I feel like an asshole.
I started calling people, and some people couldn't pick up for whatever reason. And I called one person, and then like they hooked me up. So I was like, all right, cool. But then but that hit me with reality, because I was like, what am I doing? I was like, if I found somebody here tonight, how would I be able to sustain a relationship when they live this far? I couldn't even make it out that night.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I couldn't even make it back home that night if it wasn't for my friend. So I was like, what am I doing? And then I started thinking, like, this is why I went on my sabbatical. What am I doing? I can't do shit without money.
Yeah, but have you done anything during your sabbatical to improve that situation?
Of course. To try to get money and get a job? Yes, Jen.
Okay. I'm just saying.
You think I'm doing this for my health? This is content, and people love the content.
Right, but this is our labor of love. This is not our labor of finance.
Well, I mean, it's both. Because I'm good at it, and this is what if this is an opportunity. That's what it is, and you're supposed to seize opportunity, and this is what I'm doing to do that. But yes, I also have other venues, but at the same time, I was just like, man, what the hell am I doing? I don't understand. So I don't know. So to answer your question, yes, I would go to another speed dating
Maybe they
thing.
have them in Jersey.
But I don't know if I would go to a New York one. It would have to be close. But yeah. It kind of made me sad on the drive home.
Sorry, that sucks.
Not even about the event, but like more so like how would I even be able to sustain this? So.
Well, I think it's good to get out and practice, but I get your situation.
No, but yeah, I was glad that I did it. It was fun. It was just interesting to be in it and just having the 20 some odd different conversations with 20 different walks of life. That was interesting, and I was wondering if that would maybe prop me up to be able to just walk up to somebody, well, not on the street, but like in the club or at a bar, and be able to like hold a conversation with them. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I don't feel as dire to not be able to do that. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it was cool though.
All right. Well. All right. Anywho, that took a somber turn. So what are you posting on Instagram these days?
Nothing. Just me and just me and what I am and what I think about, and I don't think my big thing is just to post pretty much what I am. So I don't want to hear that what I'm naturally doing is a surprise to you.
Okay, me or anybody?
No. Anybody. No. Just anybody. Like, if anybody I'm dating, I didn't know you did that. I didn't know you. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, yo, since day one, this is who I am, and this is what I do.
Okay, so if a girl was like posting like all these like pictures of like these like Tay Diggs naked, Morris Chestnut naked, not naked, like almost naked.
Well, I was gonna say topless, but whatever, without a shirt on, shirtless.
Right.
Yeah, shirtless.
R&B dudes grinding.
Okay.
Would you feel a certain way?
I would start to contemplate and compile what type of person that they're into. But if there's something else, like, okay, does she just like R&B? Does she just like those type of guys?
Who doesn't?
No, but whoa. Over there licking your lips and shit. Calm down. No, but okay, but if it's them, if it's stuff like that, okay, then yeah, I might be taken off the list if I think that I might not be the type of guy that they're looking for. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. With me, before I my account was hacked, whatever, no one could sit there and tell me that I had one type of woman that I liked.
Okay.
No,
I don't know.
No, you couldn't, because I had tall, short, plus sized, any colors of the rainbow. Like I was just appreciative of women. Like, I like women.
But women don't want to see other naked women. That's the thing. And not that you should tailor your Instagram for women.
That's how it sounds like. It's my page. I can do what the fuck I want.
If you're trying to attract women, you catch more flies with honey than you do shit. Or
sure.
bees with honey than you do shit. You probably catch
no. That's fine. But look at the stuff that I post about that poet that I like too. fucking girls should be should be getting wet and dropping their drawers for me right
No,
now.
because they're like "woe is me" poems.
No, not all of them.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. No, but I'm just saying that's why I don't
Roll to the video.
Go ahead, please. No, but that's why I don't like it when girls say like you should do this more. Well, I do this more. It was the same thing that what I brought up a long time ago, where chicks get angry. Oh no, they don't get angry. They look at me weird when I start talking like a quote unquote man, because they're like, Martini, I never seen this side of you. You know, as if to say that if I was more like that way, that savage way, that you'd be more into me. Or the other turn where I say something and then they roll their eyes and they're like, oh, men. And like you would say that, Martini, is like, yo, I've acted the way that you want me to act and I still don't get nothing. And then now I act another way, and now you're getting mad about that too. So which fucking way do you want me to act so I can get in them drawers?
Oh my god.
You know what I'm saying? No, but I'm serious though. It's like you want me to act this certain way, and I do, and you put me in the friend zone. I act a savage way, and then you're like, oh, you're just like all the other men. Bitch, I have been myself for the past 37 years, and I act like quote unquote men for 1 hour, and you're getting your fucking tubes tied in a knot. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, this is why I can't rely on women to try to set me up with their gender. I'm serious though. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Now Jennifer's looking for a thing to get me on, and then I'll get her right back with something.
Got a lot of stuff about being friend zoned.
That was just funny. that was one was just funny.
Yeah, there's some stuff here, but
see, here's one right here by one of my like favorite poets or whatever. It's like, relationships are meant to develop each person to be a better person. Finding a partner means finding someone who accepts you, but they still want to see you grow.
McNutt is not a real person.
Sylvester McNutt is a real person.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I don't know.
Falling in love is great, but showing someone you love them consistently is even better. Where the chicks at? Where you at? That's not something that is good.
Okay, but I'm just saying, if you have like titties out on your page, they're not gonna be like.
But I don't. I don't have girls on my page
anymore.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. It's like I'm putting things that, I mean, I don't do it for the girls. I do it for myself. But like, I'm putting things that a girl would agree to, and they're not flocking. So I don't believe that whole like, oh, look at all those girls on his page, I don't want anything. Well, I'm putting things that you would want your man to say, and he ain't saying them. So what the fuck? You know, I put up shit, you know, like I put up shit that your man wouldn't even think of, but yet I'm still fucking single.
My man?
So, I'm not talking about you. Your man is awesome. But I'm just saying, it's like, what the fuck? So I don't want to hear it that I need to adjust my way or adjust my page, and then I'll get all these likes and fucking girls, you know, at my beck and call. That's bullshit. You know, girl, I don't think there's things that you can say that will lure a woman like fucking like a flute to the Pied Piper and shit. You know, it's not. And girls will tell you that. You can't control me. You know, you guys make songs all about it and everything. So there's nothing I can say or do.
All right. Well, I mean, I do think that to a degree, like, it depends on what a person had on their page. Like, if I saw somebody with like a lot of political stuff on their page,
yeah,
and maybe it didn't necessarily like meet my political views or whatever,
I
think I'd like second thought date them.
Yeah.
Have a second.
You would have second thoughts.
Yes, thank you. I'm really tired. So, you know, or if a guy had like a lot of like, you know, naked chicks on his thing, you know, like I'd kind of be like, all right, dude, like why do you have to sexualize women? Number one, like I personally feel that way. Like, you know, it's one thing to have up like a pretty woman who's like fully dressed or whatever, but when you have like women who like have titties hanging out and like look like Playboy centerfolds. Like, I know it's your page and whatever, but I just feel like if you're sharing your page with other people, like, you should kind of have like a little bit of respect. I don't know. In my humble opinion. I think it matters to a degree. I mean, like, I don't know. You do like learn a lot about like what a person's about by looking at their page. So
if they're being truthful, absolutely, yeah.
right, right. Like the married dude didn't have pictures of his wife and kids up on his page, or on his Facebook page. He did.
Yeah.
Once I went digging, I was like, oh, hold on,
right.
What?
No, I am interested to see. That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to know. I want to know if people would date me with what I have on my page, even though my page is me.
I think the problem is that you have a lot of other stuff going on, and it's the way you kind of carry yourself that makes it a problem, not what you have on your page. Because there's got to be some chicks that are like totally into like the whole Comic-Con scene and all the other stuff that you're into.
But that's not all of me.
No, it's not, but it's the stuff that you like, and that's fine. Most women wouldn't have a problem with it. I mean, the women thing is kind of like a different thing. Like, just like, I don't know. Some girls might feel a certain way about that. Fuck, sorry. But like, I don't know. I mean, and you've seen anything on any girl's page which you've ever had a problem with?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Have you ever been on like a chick's page and been like, what the fuck? Like, what if she had like mad Wiccan shit up? No, seriously.
No, that'd probably freak me out.
Right. You'd be like, what?
Yeah.
And she was like putting up fucking spells and shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going to do a black magic thing tonight. You're like, all right, chick. Yo.
Or like some women who male bash or have things that, just.
Right. These dudes ain't shit. No, the dudes you deal with ain't shit.
Yeah, like stuff like that. I'm just like, oof, like, damn. Like, wow, okay. That's why I try
to. We're like pushing the 40 range now. So like if you have people who are like on their page, like, and you see them like getting drunk every weekend and like passed out and stuff like that, like college party pics.
Yeah.
Like you might just be like, I don't know. That's not for me.
Yo, 40's the new 30, Why are you trying to make us look old?
Yo, 30-year-olds are staying in, man. They don't want to go out. Millennials don't care about that shit.
Oh, man.
I think it matters to a degree. I think, like, yes, it's Facebook. Yes, it's Instagram. Yes, it's Twitter. But I really feel like what you say and what you do, like, has a big ramification on everything. Mm-hmm. Like, look at that. Look at the guys, right, with the hurricane that was just in the South or whatever in Florida. So there was, like, a bunch of male cops that were, like, super hot. And they were like, look, this is what Gainesville police are doing, blah, 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 blah. My cousin was, like, tagging me and shit, like, yo, look at these guys. They're mad hot. And they were just like, oh, they must hire just, like, these hot guys. They, like, went and dug through their Twitter from, like, years ago. And, like, the guy had, like, made some, like, anti-Semitic comments. Like, he might have just been being a dick, and he might not have been educated at the time.
Right.
And granted, it was like 5-6 years ago. But like now,
that can change.
Now it's just like, okay, dude, you're a fucking anti-Semitic prick.
Right.
You're not the hot cop anymore.
Did you get fired?
No, I don't think so. I think people were just like, all right, you're being ridiculous. Like, first of all, he was probably like 16 when he wrote that.
Yeah. And not a cop.
And not a cop. He probably didn't even know he wanted to be a cop.
Right.
So, like, and it wasn't, like, super anti-Semitic. It just had, like, anti-Semitic undertones, I believe.
Right.
So it's just, like, you really need to be mindful about what you put out because as much as it's a private thing, it's really a public thing.
It is.
And, like, I think that we shouldn't judge people necessarily by what they have going on. But at the same time, you're kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's this article from the confusedyoungadult.wordpress.com, and it says, do you judge a person based on their posts on social media? And there's this little part that says, I get to know if a guy is a psychopath or an idiot who posts any hoax that pops up on the internet, or a self-obsessed selfie maniac, or a pathetic guy who plays Candy Crush all the time. Duh. I must admit that checking some of the guy's social media pages have actually saved me many times from messing up. I believe that I can get to know a lot about a person by skimming through their posts for 5 minutes, than a 20-minute full-length conversation with them over a cup of coffee.
Amen.
So you advocate? Would you advocate looking at thing before going on a date?
I mean, yeah. If I had to some guy had like mad selfies up, I'd be like, all right, now. Same respect, like if girls have mad selfies. Like, do I ever take selfies? Yes. Every once in a blue moon, I'll take a selfie, and I'll just be like, okay, I need a new picture of myself.
Yeah.
I got dressed up this month for some reason.
Right. Oh, speaking of, see, we passed that, but I guess, I don't know. Your high school reunion, you didn't talk about that.
It was a shit show.
Okay. Moving on.
Yeah. I went, people were clicky, and yeah. I went home.
You didn't stay for the whole thing?
No, I stayed for the whole, like, the majority of it, but,
okay.
like, I talked to the few people I wanted to talk to, and it got kind of clicky, and, like, then everyone was just, like, sitting back by the bar, like, getting drunk because it was open bar. And I'm like...
Nobody danced?
No, there was no dancing.
There was no dancing?
It was stupid.
Because you're supposed to... They're supposed to play the music of your...
We did. They put, like, a 90s station on.
Oh, there wasn't even... it wasn't even, like, curated by a DJ. They're just 90s station.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. It was a good idea, but at the same time... you know... whatchamacallit? It's just not for me. Like, I'm just not that person. I'm not like I need to get in touch with any one person, or I need to, like, know what's going on in your life. Like, I really just don't give a fuck. Like, if I haven't really talked to you, then I don't really need to.
Okay.
It was good to see some people.
Yeah.
But like I said, like, it wasn't like moving. It was like, oh my god, it wasn't so great to catch up with this person or that person. Like,
right.
You know, and it was weird because, like, I guess I don't really post a lot about my medical stuff, but, like, a lot of people were like, oh my god, how are you doing? You know, and I guess it's, like, at a weird time because a couple people from our class, like, recently died.
Oh, wow.
So, like, it was just, like, this really crappy feeling. They're like, oh, is your heart okay? And I'm just like, I'm not here for this. I'm going home.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I feel you.
Yeah, but I judge what they put on Facebook, too. No, I'm kidding. But no, like, I mean... I remember, like, when I was, like, dating, and, like, if a guy, like, put up a lot of stuff about smoking weed or, you know, stuff like that, I'd be like, all right, dude, you're not for me.
Right.
Because, like, I don't care if you smoke weed, but if you're just, like, out in the open about it, then you probably smoke a lot of weed, and that's, like, your focus in life.
Right.
Not just, like, on some, like, rando, I need to relax type shit. Like,
yeah.
Nah. It's not like an occasional joke here or there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yo, look at this new form of weed. Like, bitch, no one cares. And if the cops come and look at your profile... you're going to jail.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, I think it matters.
Yeah.
I mean, my boyfriend got bent out of shape because I had pictures of my ex-boyfriend on Facebook.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, but was he your boyfriend after the fact? Because he can't judge you on that once he's already made the decision.
He was already my boyfriend, but, I mean, he kind of brought it up later.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and I did what I could to, like... make him comfortable.
Right.
So, I don't know. Just made me put a lot of things in perspective.
She's like, hold up.
I'm always doing things to make him comfortable.
God
damn it.
Don't do that. Don't do that now.
Anyway, it matters. I mean, I do, it's sad that it matters, but it does. Like, and that's the whole reason why sometimes I'm just like, I want to get off in social media altogether because...
not possible.
I know.
It's part of our lives. It's not possible. Like, I mean, I know some friends like who
I know friends who don't have.
They praise themselves that they're off the grid. I'm like, you think you're doing something? Like, you're on the grid even if you're off the grid.
I have friends who are like not on it at all. Like, the only time I see pictures of her kids is when her husband posts them.
Right.
And she'll be like, oh, what's going on in your life? She's like, sometimes I'll like log on to his Facebook so I can see how you are. I'm like, or you could call me.
Right.
Either or.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, I don't care what people say. Like, the world is connected. Get off of it. Get off your high horse. You know, you don't need to be on everything like everybody else does, but you can't shut out the internet, or you can't be off the grid. You know, like, you're on it. Sorry. Like, just deal with it. Anyway, so the OdysseyOnline.com puts up a list about the things that we're all judging you for on social media. It's a top 10 list. So number 1 is over editing pictures. Number 2 is complaining about relationships. Number 3 is what you said, political posts. Number 4 is game requests and quiz results. Yeah, I guess people are like, yo, why are you sending me another freaking help thing from like Farmville? Like, stop it. Like, nobody's been playing that game for like 5 years now. Number 5 is giving TMI, which is too much information. Number 6 is Snapchatting your whole night.
Oh, God.
Number 7 is inappropriate posts, whether it's like smoking weed or like, yeah, I touched like some chick's ass today and she didn't notice. Number 8, not using spell check. Number 9 is over posting. You know, you post everything every 10 seconds. And number 10, being like hungry, which is when, you know, you like every damn thing on the face of the planet. And yeah, that's it. So that's true. That's what we're judging you on. So yeah. But there is one last article from medium.com that says judging people on social media is for idiots. This is a devil's advocate type of thing. And it says she's like,
Okay,
you're not gonna conform me. When reading that title, you might think that, oh no, another mommy telling me what to do. Don't be frightened, my children. I will take it easy on you. I just like to point out that if you spend your days scrolling through your Instagram feed, looking at other people's selfies, judging them, and picking them apart, then what are you really doing? You use a huge chunk of valuable time you'll never get back at shouting mean thoughts to a screen. Next time, go yell at a wall and see how that works out for you. Better yet, do it in front of a mirror and see how that feels like. At what time did it become socially acceptable to start telling strangers that you don't like their face? It's like the whole internet adopted the demeanor of a drunk guy who got turned down at a bar. You're not as pretty as you think. Okay, great, but who asked you? We've entered an area where self-love and pride have become taboos and we're not allowed to have. We're judged and chastised for sharing our pictures unless it's a progress picture, which really are the only ones we're allowed to be proud of. If you're not a work in progress, there must be something wrong with you, and you should totally work on that. We live in a society where hate is a concept, and as if the real life hate was not enough for us. People get bullied online because apparently it's not enough to get bullied offline. Seriously? And then it goes on forth, but I wasn't gonna write all that. But I mean, I get what this person's saying. It's like, okay, this person does this or whatever. Or I guess in my case, yeah, I post a lot of superhero shit and sometimes inspirational posts, sometimes what was me posts. But does that discredit me for not being on your list? Because a lot of people would think that I'm a great guy. But since you've stopped and just looked at my Instagram stuff, you've already made your decision. So
I think it's for something bad people can make. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, your Instagram is not bad now. And not saying it was bad before, but I can see.
No, I see what you're getting.
Women were like, could be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I see what I am privy to what you meant about like the scantily clad stuff with my before Instagram. I understand. And yeah, I understand about that. So, I mean, that's why I kind of stopped. Not because of whatever that. Well, I was just kind of tired of it, and I got hacked. So I was like, I'm not gonna freaking repost all these damn pictures. I was like, you know what? Let me just change it up, and then have it be a for growth Instagram, which is why I put those specific quotes in there and stuff like that, because it's all about growth. Like that whole thing is like, if you see at the top, it'll say my name, and then it'll say like Team Geek, and also all growth in all aspects of life, because I'm trying to curate it to show you this is who I. If you don't want to take the time to know who I am as a person, look at my Instagram, and then you'll get me, and no surprises.
Okay.
So that's my thing. But I think it's just by habit that we look at, like, we'll look at people's thing and be like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know about this person. So is it wrong to do that? I don't know, but how can we, what would be an alternative to judge a person by if this is the only outlet that they give us to them, if this is their
It would
only
just
window.
take longer. I mean, you'd have to actually get to know them and then judge them.
No, but I'm just saying if this is their only window that they allow us to give, how do we,
I mean, you could judge a lot. I mean, you could tell whether somebody's like a good father or a good mother, or if they're a good friend, or you could tell a lot by pictures. Pictures says 1,000 words, so they say.
Yeah.
And it does. And I mean, you could tell someone was like a party person back in their heyday, or if they're well traveled, or their home buddies, whatever. You can just tell things.
Yeah.
And some things may intrigue you, and some things may turn you off. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It's a tangle web we weave.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I think it's okay to judge a little bit. Social media is here to stay, so.
Yeah.
And you have to be comfortable with it. I mean, I would still get to know the person.
Absolutely.
But I agree. A 10, 20-minute conversation and some Facebook stalking, and you pretty much know everything you need to know.
Oh, man. The thoughts of Jennifer do not reflect.
I'm just saying.
Nah, that's true. No, I understand. Yeah, I guess you could do a little bit of stalking if you can't wait for like your date to happen the next
Stalk
night.
before the date, so you have questions to ask.
You're not gonna have questions to ask.
Let's say you guys have been talking. Like, I think me and my boyfriend were talking for a while.
Yeah.
And then we added. I don't know if we added each other on Facebook before we saw each other.
Yeah.
Everything happened so slow in this relationship. It continues to.
That's good. No, it's because it's consistent.
Right. Sure.
Hey, slow and steady wins the race.
What race?
The race that you're trying to get to.
It's a race and I'm winning. Doesn't feel like that.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Don't worry. This time next year, I'll either be married or single.
You won't be with a boyfriend?
No, I wouldn't date again. If I
ever? This
no.
time next year, what is it? What's today? October 3rd. So you mean to tell me October 3rd, 2018? You're saying you'd either be married or single? Like you wouldn't be in a relationship 1 year from now?
First of all, I'm not breaking up with him anytime soon. I'm just saying, like, if it gets to, like, my birthday and things haven't changed, then, yeah, I'm not doing this much longer past 2 years of monotony, So then 6 months after that would be now.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'd be single.
All right.
With a roster. Because that's how I do. It's not what I want. I'm just telling you I know how I am.
But okay. But you say it as if that's right. Just because that's how you are.
Because how long is too long to wait?
That's another podcast. No. That I already have on the list to do. How long is too long? I don't know. But I wouldn't call it monotony. I would call it frustration on your part.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't call it monotony. You guys are growing.
Are we?
Yeah, you are. Every day that you guys talk to each other and every moment that you guys spend with each other, you are growing. Being in the same vicinity, being 20 feet from each other is not going to change that. You guys are growing together,
I suppose.
I'm just saying, like, that's fact. That's not an opinion. That you guys are growing together, because that's what happens.
We're kind of planning a road trip. But I'm planning the road trip. He's just gonna go on it with me. That's what he said to do. He's like, "Well, you plan it and I'll go." And I'm like, "That feels shitty." And he's like, "Well, if it sucks, then I can blame you." Ha 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 ha.
Oh, he can't do that. Oh my God, that's from the freaking. That's literally the episode that we had. With What's Wrong with Today's Man. He literally said, "Oh my God, that is crazy." He literally said, Elliot Katz said that men will sometimes have the woman plan their date, and if it goes shitty, they can always say it's not my fault.
learning experience for me. Like I heard a woman complain, we're going on vacation, and my husband told me just to plan the vacation. And I thought, initially, well, isn't that great? He's telling you, we'll do whatever you want. And he said, well, it makes me feel like he's one of the children. And I said, it really hit me. It's like, you're leaving it all to her. It's really like you're one of the children. She wants you to show your share of leadership. It's not about being a dictator who's ruling over everything. She wants you to show your share of leadership. So if you say, you plan the vacation, we'll do whatever you want. I really, like, when I think back at how initially I thought, well, that's such, what are you complaining about? That's what it is. That's what men think. They think, well, the decision doesn't really matter to me, so you make it, because it doesn't really matter to me, right? And often there's a decision, but she doesn't want that. She wants you to participate and show your share of leadership and making decisions, and not just leave it all to her.
Okay.
And then the worst thing is that you blame her if it goes wrong, then you think you can blame her. She doesn't want that.
Right. Like, I didn't even want to go to whatever, the Bahamas. It's your fault.
Yeah, but if you go and it turns out to be a disaster, then you can say, well, I can't blame me. It was your decision. Well, she can't blame you because you should have realized it wouldn't be a good thing, just like, and it turned out bad just like you thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
And then you blame her.
And that's wrong. Wow.
Well, yeah, I've been trying to get him to like put some input in it. He's like, we can go wherever you want to go. I'm like, well, do you want to drive to Chicago? And he's like, I don't care, whatever you want.
That's a long. How long is that?
8 hours, 12 hours.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
12 hours. If we can survive 12 hours in a car together, we can survive living together.
Okay. But that doesn't mean that if you don't live together, that relationship should end.
No, we should just live apart separately forever and ever.
No,
and ever.
until he proposes. And then you guys can live with each other.
And then I'll be 45.
No, but that's what I'm saying. And
in the words of Miss Brown, ain't nobody got time for that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you living with somebody shouldn't be the end all be all to marriage, because just because you live with each other doesn't mean that you'll get married. I would rather you give me the ring and then because you're gonna have to live with the person anyway. So you know what I mean? So just because he doesn't want to live with you now, doesn't mean that he won't propose. That's just me. But yeah, so I mean, that's a decent road trip. I mean, do you guys have the time to do that? Like, wouldn't it be better to just get to Chicago and spend more time there as opposed to wasting 12 hours to get there?
Yeah, I mean, we'll just drive there like one morning, spend like the afternoon and night there, and then spend the whole next day and then come home the next day.
Oh, I thought you were gonna spend like
a week. No,
yeah,
like
a week or
a
something.
day or two there.
Oh, okay.
I mean, how much is there to do in Chicago?
It's an entire.
Sorry, Chicago's. I don't know.
It's an entire city. I'm sure there's plenty to do over there. Are you gonna hang out with our former guests?
Yeah. That's if we go.
Mm-hmm. I guess you guys should go. Get before it's too cold, because it is the Windy City.
Yeah.
So
bring my windbreaker.
I think you need more than that.
Bring my hoodie.
There you go.
But yes, back to have you ever judged anybody by their Instagram or their Facebook? If you don't, you should.
If you don't, you should.
So
message